Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror update. This is technically day 16 of the 31 Days of Horror, but it's also the day 1 of the Toronto After Dark Film Festival. And it is currently, So I've got some water. You may see that a lot in these reviews. I've also got a sandwich. Because I haven't eaten since lunch. Normally I get some popcorn or something, or I eat on the way home type thing, but not tonight. No. But tonight I've got a double feature to talk about. The first film of the festival, the opening gala film, was a film called Housebound, which is from New Zealand. Yes. In fact, it's I would say there must be something in the water over there because New Zealand seems to put out some really good films of this type. It's directed by Gerard Johnstone. I think this is his first feature, and it stars a bunch of people I've never heard of. Morgana O'Reilly and Rima Teiwada are essentially the main characters. What is the film about? The film is about a young woman named Kylie Bucknell who is put under essentially house arrest. She's a juvenile delinquent, essentially. She's put under house arrest and has to live with her mom and stepdad. And while in this, living there, some very odd things start taking place and happening, and the film has this spooky haunted house vibe going for it. And one of the things about Housebound that is so good is the comedy. It is more a comedy than anything else. Yes, it is a horror film. Yes, it could be considered a thriller, but I would say it's a comedy first and foremost. And it's no surprise that Peter Jackson himself, the guy we all know, he's literally called this film bloody brilliant, and I tend to agree. This is definitely on my must-see list. It is one of the best horror films of the year by far. It's if you get the chance to see it, whether it be in theaters or streaming, whatever, Blu-ray, DVD, I don't know what. It obviously hasn't come out yet, but I do believe they announced today that at least in Canada, Raven Banner and Anchor Bay are got the rights to it. And so hopefully, I'm hoping this film gets a wide release from them. They're not known for their wide releases, but I hope it gets a wide release from them, simply because it is just that good. It is that entertaining. It's so much fun. It's just over 100 minutes long, so it's not super long. And the pacing to it is really, really good. There's a few decent jump scares, a few decent false scares, not so much in the tension suspense thing, but it delivers in every other aspect: pacing, story, acting. The comedy is so good. It's so good. It touches on a lot of different comedic styles and aspects. but there's some cliche moments. Sure, it happens, but the film has great twists that you just don't see coming. Great twists in there, yeah, it's just a solid film. The attention to detail in this film is blow your mind. Like, the amount of work that the writer-director had to have put forth before he even started on this film has to be huge. Like, not only, I mean, he probably storyboarded the entire thing, like every single shot. He's probably got a map of the house and what's going on, and he's probably got this weird diagram with, you know, events taking place and how they're linked and all that, because there's just so much going on in this film, and it's all interwoven and it's all related, and it's hard, you know, things from the beginning of the film are related to in the end of the film and the middle of the film, and you know, like all over the place, and it's just so well done. It's so tight, and it's like it's like I said, it is funny. It is so funny. So if you get the chance to see Housebound, do it. Highly recommended. Great opening film for the festival. The second film that we got to see was a film called Suburban Gothic, out of the U.S., directed by Richard Bates Jr., who you may know from the film Excision. That was his first film, and this would be his second foray. It's got a crazy cast. Matthew Gray Gubler is in it. You might recognize his face. He's been in a bunch of things, not a ton, but a bunch of. Well, he was in Excision for one, but he believe it or not, he's also the voice of Simon from the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies. So he's definitely got a wide array of things that he's involved in. Kat Dennings is in this movie, the lovely Kat Dennings, who you may know most recently from the other girl in the Thor movies. That's the only way you can really describe her. But it also has Ray Weiss is in the film. Jeffrey Combs has some a bit part that comes up. John Waters has a very small part in the film, but still really good. Sally Watson is in it. She's done quite a bit of stuff. Let's see who else. Muse Watson. I think I'm trying to think. He's been in other horror movies. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. The face is once you see him, it's you can't miss it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been in a ton of other horror movies, even if they were just small parts. He's been in them. But this film is, again, it's mostly it's a lot of comedy, horror comedy, and it stars a young gentleman by the name of Raymond, who is a little bit of a flaky type of character, with, I guess, reason that gets detailed out through the movie as you go, but he can't find work, so he's forced to move back in with his parents, and it's his there's a lot of themes that are going to be very similar in terms of these movies that play, in the same night this year. They've broken it up into theme nights. So the house turns out to be, well, essentially haunted. What Raymond has is this gift to actually communicate with the paranormal, and he's always had this gift. And so it's essentially one of those films where you have, well, they break it down. You have the ghost is haunting. Why is the ghost haunting? You got to figure out why the ghost is haunting so that you can keep the ghost from haunting. solve the mystery, so to say. And so it's mostly that. But what makes Suburban Gothic so unique is that it is so bizarre. So bizarre. Like, I mean, the characters are just, they're caricatures. Everybody seems to be a caricature. Yeah, there's it's quite racist, but it's racist on purpose. You know, it knows that it's being racist, so it's not, you know, indirectly just being, you know, racist because it is racist. It's being racist on purpose, to make it so that it you know, it fits into the surreal vibe. It fits into the humor and the comedy that's there. You know, like a joke like the, you know, racist father. You know, he's got some. I think he's a high school coach, and he's got some of the kids over at his home, and he basically says, you know, to the black kids who are there, "Sorry guys, my wife forgot to buy the grape soda." You know, they all look at each other like, "What, really, dude?" Like, whatever. But it's just things like that, and those moments aren't really funny by themselves, but when you throw them into the weird and wackiness of this movie, you don't laugh at the sheer racist notion that's being portrayed. You're laughing at the character, because yeah, he is a bigot, and whether it's subtle or, you know, right out bigotry, it's part of the character, and you can laugh at it because it's you know, it's to everybody. But yeah, and that's that's Ray Wise's character, and I have to think that a lot of the stuff that he does in the film is either improv or something he came up with, because to think that a lot, you know, some of the things were actually in the script, I'd be amazed. They're just so oddball, and yeah, he really is. I think he's one of the gems in this film. Everybody does, you know, their job really, really well, but when it comes to the comedy, just the stuff he does and the things he says and his timing and everything, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and it's so funny. But I will say that Suburban Gothic works probably better as a movie you see with a crowd or a group, because, as they say, you know, humor is contagious, and I know a lot of the people who had seen it already, if they hadn't seen it in a group, thought it was meh. And yeah, the story itself is meh, but it is the comedy and the quirkiness. It's very quirky. It's not quite like David Lynch quirky, you know, in that sense, but there is some, I would say there is some bizarreness similar to something you might find in a David Lynch movie, to some of the aspects in this film. And I like quirky, I like bizarre, and when you team that up with you know, the comedy aspects, it's pretty good. It's only about, I think it's an hour and a half long, and I don't know that it has a lot of rewatch potential, but I would say it's definitely something to check out. If you get a chance to see it in theaters, do it. I don't think it, other than the festival circuit, I don't think it's going to play even a limited engagement. But yeah, when it comes eventually to, you know, video on demand or Blu-ray or DVD, I suggest picking it up and getting together with some friends, having a few drinks, and sitting down and just watching the crazy unfold, and hopefully you get into it and allow it to be what it is, because then you'll enjoy it more. You'll get the laughs, you'll get the amusing aspects of the film, and hopefully they would, you know, penetrate you and help you enjoy the film itself. Yeah, there isn't much else to say about it, really. I would definitely, like I said, Housebound is a definite recommend. Suburban Gothic is if you get the chance to see it in theaters, I recommend you do it. If you're just going to be watching at home, it's like I said, not scary. It's definitely in the comedy aspects, but the comedy is more of a bizarre comedy. So if you're into the bizarre films, things that are a little oddball, then check out Suburban Gothic. Otherwise, rent it if you have nothing else to watch because you've seen everything. Definitely, it's not a bad film. It's definitely not a bad film. Yeah, this is coming from a guy who watches a lot of bad films. So, anyways, guys, Toronto After Dark is happening again tomorrow, so I will be checking out day 2 of the festivities there. I will also be staying out late, so you'll probably see me again with some water, maybe. Till next video, guys, take care, have a good one.